Fluent Podcasts, podcasts he never had before.
Welcome to the Fluent Podcast. We're part of the English Learning Podcast playlist, and today, we're tackling something I think affects pretty much everyone, especially when you're learning a new language. The topic is how to stop overthinking in English.
Yeah, it's a big one, that constant mental chatter.
Exactly. So our mission today is pretty straightforward. We want to explore what overthinking actually is, why our brains seem to get tangled up in these loops. And most importantly, we want to give you some practical strategies, some really useful English vocabulary too, so you can not just manage it, but also talk about it confidently in English.
Which is a skill in itself, right? Being able to articulate what's going on in your head.
Totally. So let's paint a picture. A scenario maybe some of you will recognize. Imagine getting an email from your boss. Super short. Can we meet in 2 days? No reason given.
Oh boy, yeah, instant dread.
Right. Your stomach just drops, heart pounds, and immediately your brain goes, what did I do wrong? Oh no, this is it. I'm getting fired.
Yep, been there. The spiral begins.
And it's off to the races, isn't it? The next 2 days are just gone. You're replaying every single conversation, every email, looking for clues. You're lying awake at night. Your brain just will not switch off.
Rehashing everything over and over.
Yeah. And trying to focus during the day? Forget it. You're zoning out, thinking of all the worst what-ifs. Maybe you even start, subtly asking coworkers if they know anything.
And your poor spouse or family is probably thinking, here we go again.
Exactly. Okay, so the meeting day finally comes. You walk in expecting the absolute worst. Your boss looks serious, tells you to sit down.
Deep breath.
And then they say, the manager above you is leaving. We want to offer you the promotion.
Wow. Okay, plot twist. Relief.
Massive relief. All that worry, completely pointless. But here's the thing, right? You leave the office, you're thrilled, but almost instantly.
Uh-oh.
The thoughts start again. Why was I such an idiot? Why did I waste all that energy worrying? And then, boom, it morphs into, wait, can I actually do this new job? Am I good enough? What if I mess up?
The cycle just restarts. Different topic, same pattern.
Does that sound familiar to anyone listening? It's that feeling of being completely helpless, right? Like you're just swept away by your thoughts. But the good news is you really can learn skills to stop it.
Absolutely. And that scenario perfectly illustrates getting stuck in a loop. That's really the core of overthinking these excessive thoughts about something, but without actually moving toward a solution.
Right. It feels like you should be getting somewhere, but you're not.
Exactly. It often leads to feeling more anxious, more overwhelmed, maybe even paralyzed with indecision. You're replaying conversations, you dissect every detail, you imagine all these what-if scenarios.
Trying to control everything.
Yeah, trying to control outcomes, but like our sources say, it's like running on a mental treadmill. You're moving all right, but you're not getting anywhere. It just magnifies problems.
The treadmill analogy is perfect. So, okay, how do we know when we're on the treadmill versus actually, solving a problem? What's the difference?
Yeah. That's the crucial distinction. Problem solving is, well, it's different. It's a focused and structured approach. It's goal-oriented. It involves taking actionable steps.
Okay, actionable steps, like things you can actually do.
Precisely. Problem solving has a beginning, a middle, and an end. You identify the issue clearly, you brainstorm solutions, realistic ones, and then you take steps to move forward. You feel a sense of progress.
Ah, okay. That sense of progress is key. So the vocabulary there, focused approach, goal-oriented, actionable steps, brainstorming, sense of progress. Got it.
Exactly.
So for listeners trying to figure out, am I overthinking right now or am I problem solving? What are the red flags? What should they look for in their own thinking?
Well, there are some pretty clear signs. Are you replaying the exact same thoughts or scenarios over and over without reaching any kind of decision or plan?
Yeah, that loop you mentioned.
That's a big one. Another sign. How do you feel after all that thinking? If you feel more stuck, more anxious, or just totally mentally drained.
Instead of clear.
Right. Instead of clearer or more empowered, that's probably overthinking. And are your thoughts focused mainly on those what-ifs and, worst case scenarios rather than practical solutions you could actually try?
Okay, so if thinking leaves you feeling worse and without a plan, it's probably overthinking. If it leads to some kind of next step, even a small one, that's more like problem solving.
You've got it. That's a great way to put it.
All right, so we know what it looks like, but why? Why do our amazing brains, which can learn languages and solve complex problems, get stuck spinning their wheels like this?
The why. It often boils down to some really fundamental things, mainly fear and uncertainty. Fear of making the wrong choice, fear of the unknown, fear of what other people might think.
Yeah, those are big ones.
And this can lead to what's called analysis paralysis. We're
Oh.
so overwhelmed by all the possibilities, all the potential negative outcomes you're imagining, that you just freeze. You do nothing.
I've definitely felt that. Too many choices, so
Yeah.
no choice.
Exactly. And related to that is an intolerance for uncertainty. Some people just find it really, really difficult not knowing how things will turn out. It feels deeply uncomfortable, and that often links to a need for control.
Wanting to know the future, basically, which we can't.
We can't, and our
Yeah.
brains don't like that. Then you add in emotional triggers, maybe past mistakes that haunt you, perfectionism, self-doubt. All these emotions can really cloud your judgment.
Make it hard to think straight.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But understanding the brain's role here is, I think, really empowering. Dr. Sid Warrior talks about this brilliantly. Think of your brain having like two modes.
Okay.
You've got your prefrontal cortex, that's the logical planning part.
Right.
Your CEO, if you like. It calculates risks, thinks ahead, tries to keep you safe and successful.
The rational part.
Right. But when anxiety kicks in, that fear of the future, feeling out of control, your brain thinks it's in danger. This activates the limbic system, the more ancient emotional part.
The alarm system.
Exactly. And a little part called the amygdala goes on high alert. It makes you hypervigilant, scanning for threats everywhere, causing you to overestimate risks, like seeing danger around every corner.
Even when it's not really there.
Often when it's not really there. And here's the kicker. When the limbic system is highly active, it actually dampens down your prefrontal cortex. Your logical CEO loses control. So you get stuck in limbic thinking. That's the worrying, the spiraling.
Versus prefrontal cortex thinking, which is calm and solution-focused.
Precisely. So recognizing, okay, my amygdala is firing right now, this is limbic thinking,
Right.
allows you to consciously try and re-engage your prefrontal cortex. It's about knowing which system is driving the bus.
Wow. Okay, that distinction between limbic and prefrontal thinking is huge. It makes it feel less like a personal failing and more like a brain process you can actually influence.
Exactly. It gives you some power back.
All right, so now for the really practical stuff. What can we actually do? Let's get into the strategies, and how can we practice talking about these in English?
Okay, strategy number 1, and maybe the most fundamental, noticing and naming. You have to realize you're doing it first. Overthinking is often just a background habit, like, chewing your nails.
You don't even know you're doing it sometimes.
Right. So the first step is awareness. You can literally say it out loud, maybe in English, to practice, I'm overthinking right now. Or, I notice I'm ruminating about that conversation.
Ruminating, that's a good word. Like chewing something over endlessly.
Exactly. Just naming it, I'm overthinking, creates a little bit of space. You can also learn your triggers. When does it usually happen? Before bed? After social events? If you know your patterns, you can anticipate it.
Like my biggest trigger is, or I tend to overthink when. Practicing those phrases could be really helpful.
Definitely. You could even track it for a week. Set an alarm, maybe. Check in. Am I obsessing right now? Often it happens when our attention isn't fully occupied.
Okay, so step 1 is catch yourself doing it and name it. Got it. What's next?
Step 2, scheduling worry time. This sounds a bit weird, but it works. It's about setting limits.
Like putting worry on the calendar.
Pretty much. If a nagging thought pops up when you're trying to work or relax, you don't fight it. You acknowledge it and say, okay, brain, thanks for that. I'll worry about this at 4 p.m. today. And you actually schedule maybe 15, 20 minutes just for worrying.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So you postpone the worry.
Yes. You postpone or schedule rumination. It teaches your brain you have more control than you think. You're setting boundaries. Try it for a month, a dedicated worry slot each day.
So I could practice saying, I'm scheduling my worry time for after dinner.
Perfect. And, crucially, never worry in your head. Do it on paper. Write it down during your scheduled time. You can free write, do a locus of control exercise, draw in a circle, writing what you can control inside, what you can't outside.
Oh, that visual could be powerful.
Or make a pros and cons list, or just do a brain dump. Get it out of your head and onto paper. I need to write this down. Let's make a pros and cons list about this English exam.
Okay, scheduling and writing it down. That seems manageable. What about when you're actually in the worry time or just generally trying to shift away from the thoughts?
That leads us to strategy 3, attention shifting, challenging thoughts, and focusing on the present. Trying to just stop thinking usually backfires.
Yeah, like telling yourself, don't think of a pink elephant.
Exactly. So instead, you shift your focus. Shift towards your values. What's actually important to you, being present, connecting with people, learning. Focus on what you want more of, not just what you want less of.
So less focus on the worry itself, more on what you want your life to be about. I like that.
And you can visualize it like changing the channel. Your mind is stuck on the compulsive worry channel. Grab the remote, change it to the gratitude channel, or the what I can control channel, or the helpful action channel.
Focusing on your locus of control, like you said.
Right. And actively challenge the thoughts. Are they based on facts or just assumptions? Is this emotional reasoning? I feel like a failure, so I must be. Or logical reasoning? Ask, what's the evidence? What's within my control right now?
Okay, questioning the thoughts themselves. That takes practice.
It does. And another huge part of this is focusing on the present moment. Anxiety lives in the past or the future. Bring yourself back to right here, right now. Use grounding techniques.
Like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing.
Exactly. Name 5 things you see, 4 you can touch, 3 sounds, 2 smells, 1 taste. It pulls you out of your head and into your body and surroundings. Or pick a color, name everything that color in the room. Anything to interrupt the thought spiral.
You could practice saying, okay, let's use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method right now.
Perfect. And finally, label your thoughts. Just observe them. There's that anxious thought again. Or that's just my what if I make a mistake thought. It creates distance. It's a thought, not you. I need to label that thought as anxious thinking.
Labeling, grounding, shifting, focus, challenging. Lots of tools there. What's number 4?
Number 4 ties into challenging thoughts. Shift from abstract to concrete thinking. And crucially, take action. Overthinking loves vague, abstract why questions. Why am I like this? Why can't I get this right?
Yeah, those don't usually lead anywhere good. Just kind of self-loathing, maybe.
Often, they lead to rumination and helplessness. Instead, ask what questions? What is one small thing I can do today about this? What actionable issue can I tackle right now?
So instead of why is my English pronunciation so bad, ask what's one sound I can practice for 5 minutes today?
Exactly. Break it down. Action is the antidote to overthinking. Often, overthinking is just a fancy form of procrastination. Your brain thinks it's being productive, but it's avoiding the effort of actually doing something.
Oh, sneaky.
Very. So break tasks into tiny, manageable steps. Take one step. Action builds momentum. The more you do, the less power the thoughts have. Focus on solutions. My next step is I will break this down into.
Action is the antidote. I like that. Okay, number 5.
Number 5 is simple, but so important. Be kind to yourself. So much overthinking comes from harsh self-criticism.
Especially when learning something new, like a language. It's easy to beat yourself up.
It really is. So practice self-compassion. Talk to yourself like you would talk to a good friend who was struggling. Would you call them stupid for worrying? No. You'd be understanding. Give yourself that same kindness.
Use those positive self-talk phrases. It's okay. I'm doing my best. Learning takes time.
Yes. Self-compassion is a powerful antidote to that inner critic.
Okay, makes sense. And the last one, number 6.
Number 6 is distraction. Now, use this one carefully. It's a short-term tool. It can be great to break ruts or help rewire a bad habit when you're really stuck in a spiral. Just shift your attention completely for a bit. Listen to music, go for a walk, call a friend.
Like hitting pause.
Exactly. But the caution is, don't let it become chronic avoidance. If you always distract yourself instead of dealing with things, the problems just get bigger, and you can lose that sense of purpose and engagement. Use it strategically to get unstuck, not constantly.
So a temporary circuit breaker, not a permanent escape hatch. You could practice. I like to distract myself by healthy activity when I start obsessing.
Perfect.
Okay, wow. So quick recap. Notice and name it. Schedule worry time. Write it down. Shift attention, challenge thoughts, and focus on the present using grounding. Shift from why to what and take action, even tiny steps. Be kind to yourself with self-compassion. And use distraction strategically as a short-term tool.
That covers the main strategies. And remember, the goal isn't zero thinking. That's impossible and undesirable. It's about learning to direct your thoughts in a way that leads you to real solutions.
And what's really cool here, especially for our listeners, is that practicing talking about these strategies in English is itself a form of positive action.
Absolutely.
Talking about your triggers, your scheduled worry time, the grounding techniques you're using, the actionable steps you're planning. Doing that in English reinforces the strategies and builds your language skills. You're moving from hesitant internal thought to clearer external communication.
It creates this positive feedback loop. Managing your thoughts helps your English, and practicing your English helps you manage your thoughts.
So a final thought for everyone listening. How might really leaning into these techniques, shifting from overthinking to action, from self-criticism to self-compassion, not just improve your well-being, but actually transform your entire language learning journey. How could it boost your confidence and help you communicate more effectively and spontaneously in English?
It's definitely something to ponder. Moving from being stuck in your head to actively engaging with the world, both mentally and linguistically.